few hiccups along the way. Somebody said, we got to get home first.
This is an update from the 1010 Wind Storm Center.
AccuWeather told us it would be a cakewalk getting in this morning, but tonight, as forecast, isn't quite as easy because we've been getting a little of everything all day long. Buses and trains are stopping and suspended and modified, etc. More on that later. First, AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Bowers here to tell us what to expect out of the skies in the next several hours. Dave?
That's right, yeah, and it is going to gradually improve here, Larry. The back edge of it is right along the Delaware River. And you get into Pennsylvania, and it's over. But it's going to take another 2-3 hours for it to taper off here in the city and then be completely done before midnight. But in the meantime, it's going to come down hard. Very poor visibility, and it'll continue to pile up. The accumulations have already been reached in all of the western and northern suburbs. We've seen a lot of slush here in the city, but we're still going to be picking up as much as half a foot of snow here on non-paved surfaces before this one does taper off. Larry?
All right, Dave, and we are still watching the effects of the storm here on the tri-state. 1010 Winds reporter Sonia Rincon holding down the ChevyOffers.com storm desk for us this afternoon. Been a pretty busy day, huh, Sonia?
Oh yeah, we're still seeing a lot of that slush in the city that Dave was just talking about. The snow still coming down hard, wet, heavy, dense snow, but it's not really piling up on the paved surfaces for now because they're just not that cold, and that is not necessarily great news for getting around during this afternoon rush because it is causing some transit backups. No major cancellations though, so that is the good news. We want to stay off the roads, and it could certainly be a lot worse. Let's find out now what's going on with New Jersey Transit. Spokeswoman Nancy Snyder is on the phone. Nancy, any delays or service reductions we need to know about?
Yes, we do have some delays. As you were mentioning, the wet snow is really posing a bit of a challenge on our overhead wires. So the Northeast Corridor train service is suspended both directions between Jersey Avenue and Trenton. That's because of Amtrak overhead wire problems. We also have our own wire problems along the Morris-Essex line between Denville and Dover. So service is suspended between those 2 points. And then also on Gladstone line, the Gladstone branch, both directions suspended between Summit and Gladstone. Additionally, with the storm ramping up, we had a bit of a challenge on the roadways, and safety is our first priority. So we will only operate service that is safe. And so with that, our bus service is suspended system-wide. And we do still have cross-honoring in effect, and Waterway is cross-honoring our bus passes as well.
How soon do you think it'll be safe to operate those buses?
Well, I mean, we have to see how the storm plays out and how the roads handle it. We have regionals all over the state looking and assessing the roadways and the roadway conditions. So a little later on, after the storm plays out, we'll be better to assess what we can offer service-wise for tomorrow.
No major suspension on the rails, just the ones you mentioned, just between certain points.
Yeah, right. And we're dealing with the overhead wire problems because of the wet snow you mentioned. We do have crews strategically, out there and positioned. So we do have crews responding to the overhead wire issues, hopefully to, bring them back online as soon as they possibly can. But, this is quite the punishing storm with the very, very heavy winds and the snow that's basically moving sideways. So, the crews have their hands full.
Yeah, it's like a snow globe out there. Anything that could make the morning commute problematic.
Well, I mean, it really, honestly, we have to see how this plays out and the buildup of ice and snow. It's very hard to tell right now because, with the projected snowfalls, we really don't know what roads are going to be cleared enough for passage, what roads are still, going to be blocked, and then we have to detour around it from a bus angle. And even from an access link angle, our paratransit service, we also have to pay mind to that as well.
All right, Nancy Snyder, thank you, Nancy, with the latest from New Jersey Transit on the service and the impact of the storm. Stay with 1010 Winds. In 20 minutes. We will have Joe Loda with the MTA to give us the very latest on subways, buses, Metro North, and Long Island Railroad and the impact there. So, but let's check on driving conditions now just east of the city where we just heard about a lot of traffic from Greg Rice. It is messy. 1010 Winds reporter Carol Dioria is in Bayside, Queens with more on the mess there. Carol.
Well, Sonia, the snow is really coming down heavily. It's wet snow, it's very heavy, and it seems to be falling all which ways, every direction. And so if you're out walking, boy, you're going to get it right in the face. And there is now plenty of snow that the snow plows are removing it. I've seen a number of snow plows. In fact, I thought one was going to plow me in just a minute ago. The service road of the Long Island Expressway, really bad. The LIE itself is better. In fact, the traffic on the LIE is much lighter than it would normally be at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The snow is making lots of folks unhappy. I know I wasn't thrilled with this. Neither was 16-year-old Jocelyn.
I hate it. I'm really excited for spring, but I just missed my bus, so I'm having like the worst day ever. My hands are frozen right now. That's why I got some hot coffee. And like my whole back is wet, so now my book's still.
So the snow is falling down. It's very heavy. There are accumulations. If you are out driving, you must go slowly, respect the snow, don't try anything fancy. Carol Dioria, 1010 Winds Live in Bayside, Queens.
All right, the snow is making lots of folks nervous in Westchester, where there are still thousands of lingering power outages from Friday, and those overhead lines are vulnerable. Let's check in now live with Al Jones in the Ossining area with conditions there. Al.
Yeah, rolling up Route 9 here northbound, and the trees are completely covered with snow. It's a good half inch, and it's a wet snow. So if these winds pick up like they're supposed to, you can watch the outages go up as well. And folks, for the